Fluffy! Hiya! 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 Woo! Hello! Lily pals! Hello, hello, hi! Welcome, welcome! Right off the bat, I'm gonna summon the Froggies. Let's build a tower today. Tower of Frog. And then good enough. Happy Thursday, every froggy. Thursday stream to make up for missing last Friday's stream. Too busy with the lobsters. Happy Thor. Today, I'm gonna do what I did on the last art stream. I'm gonna draw some FAKEMON. And you can see up in the corner, you can pretty much get an easy guess which one I'll be tackling tonight. Let me see, is there anything I need to bring up before I get started? Not really. I've been chugging away at these FAKEMON one at a time. Although I've mainly been prioritizing, for whatever reason, the ones that are very long and lithe and really long. You said tackling. Are we doing like a tackle Pokemon? So Magikarp or Makuhita? Well, it would have to be Makuhita because Magikarp only splashes. Yeah, I don't really have much else. Or no, I was saying I was drawing a bunch of FAKEMON that had really long and slender body types, and my hand promptly grew mad at me for doing that a bunch. So I'm kind of backtracking a bit. I'm prioritizing stout or short, mainly round Pokemons. It's Froggy time, so say a Stratahawk. Yes, yes. Yep, right off the bat, I'm gonna be doing a regional variant, a Miltank, based on a Highland cow. Like I mentioned in the last FAKEMON art stream, most of these ideas are kind of coming from Stellar, and I'm just bringing them into form. Although, fun fact, I know when I started doing some FAKEMON a long time ago, like just starting out, this regional variant was, or the first regional variant I was going to tackle was going to be this Miltank. But then my ADHD juice ran out, and it kind of went quiet all the way up until the past couple weeks or so. So now I am going to correct that. We're going to draw a fluffy cow. We're going to draw a floof. We're going to draw a round. We're going to draw a friend. Oh, but first things first. I must... knock off the Froggy tunes. I got a number of different musics lined up. Upped? Upped. I can English so good right now. The brainworm hit us very hard at the same time. Part of me wonders if, like, my sudden brainworm shift kind of stirred your brainworms. Okay. Music. I got a bunch of video game tunes, mainly. I got a few Tohos. I got, of course, some Pokemons. I also have some Monster Hunter tunes. Hopefully I can get away with that. But we're starting off really pleasant, really happy. And the database is like 60% filled now, so thank you. You've been going so hard on that spreadsheet, baby. I'm so proud of you. Anywho. We gotta start on the Moo. I grabbed a couple of refs, mainly, because I started out with this one, and I guess at the time I didn't think it was quite, well, it's what I picked at the time and what I tried to work off of, and then recently I was like, you know what, I need a bit more. I need a bit more material. So, first things first, get the basic shapes down. These FAKEMON are like the only times where I actually like draw the basic shapes first and then draw around the shapes. Normally I just get right to right to the line art steps. Then again, I think it's been I think it's mainly been kind of a recent development with my techniques that I kind of start out with shapes. Or at least like a rough, like just loose like little line or something like that, and then draw over that. I'm not drawing full skeletons yet. And as far as I can tell, that won't change anytime soon, but, you know, anything that helps. Only if RNG doesn't report you. I know. RNG, you're not in leagues with Capcom, are ya? Category 45 hyper-focus event. For real. Okay. Mainly just kind of pear-shaped, which is excellent. I love pear shapes. Why would I do that? I'm not meanie. Tell that to my dice rolls. Literally, I shared a meme with Stellar and Jay that's literally like, it's like that one meme where it's like, you know, I consent, and then Jesus is like, I don't. Except Jesus is the dice. it was the dice, and then like the two adults were like a couple of PCs with important character arcs. Let's see. Ah. Sometimes I accidentally whack my stylus up against my coffee table. Dogs. Hmm. We have a pair. um, hmm. Mainly just trying to think about, because naturally, you know, this regional variant is gonna have hair covering over her eyes. And I'm just trying to think from what angle I want to tackle. I might just do maybe like straight ahead, mostly. I think this will work. I suppose it's, well, with this one it's almost a little bit like eggplant shaped, whereas this one is more pear shaped. Like this one's more classic. I also have to think about, I'm gonna factor in the rest of the fluff too, without like completely disfiguring the form. outline. Probably good to have the nose and mouth placed on. So I have a clear idea. The direction, or like the angle of the face. So like kind of like that. Part of me was admittedly tempted to only like have one of the eyes covered, but I think I want to prioritize the cuteness factor. I think that'll do, mostly. Another art stream, another visualized struggle with my own artistic perfectionism. I'm still dealing with the single earbud situation. Apparently I got an email that you know, that I was supposed to expect my new headset to arrive today, but I'll have to check later. Okay. I want to change my game cap. Oh shoot, did I not update that properly? Whoopsie! The period between 5:30 and 6 is typically where I scramble to have everything up and ready and up to go and good for stream. But sometimes I miss a few things in the scuffle, in the scramble, in the omelet, in the poach. Is this nose too big? No. I think the bigger issue is that the gap isn't wide enough. But now it looks too big. Someone coming in expecting Toho Project would have been disappointed. Consider my bacon saved. Let's see. So ears are generally pretty flopsy. Without everything else so far, it just looks like I'm drawing a dog. VODs, many VODs. Dogs are just tiny mill tanks. Perhaps you have a point. Okay. Fluff. This is turning out much smoother than my initial attempt. An attempt that has since been lost to time. Miltank, being the field egg group, can breed with Pokemon such as Growlithe, Meowth, and Eevee. It's close enough to dog, according to Game Freak. Frog, is this a dog? No, it's a cow. It's a floofy cow. That is also Miltank. Also, hello, Binky. Just a little outward tuft there. Try and spark some, like, balance. Cow with little teeths. I saw a video of that the other day. It's adorable. To be fair, Pokemon breeding in general is weird. You're not wrong about that. You know, that just makes me think. Despite supposedly being a man-made Pokemon, I think Ditto has been, like, kind of critical to the proliferation of many a Pokemon species. Honestly, I think if I didn't know any better, I think you would think Dittos would, or starter Pokemon, the starter trio, are only ever reproducing with Dittos. Does anybody ever mention if starter Pokemon happen to be amongst endangered species? Do you know the Lapras breeding story? I know Lapras is canonically endangered. Honestly, if I were a conservationist and there was a sentient pile of silly putty that could save a species, I'd make that shit our emblem. Do we even discuss the Vaporeon one? Well, thankfully that's not canon. Okay. I think this is about as ideal of face floof as we can manage. And I know we have the little horns, but for Highland cows specifically, they have a unique, like, little set. I don't want to make them too big. I just know that Miltanks are, like, a female-only species. So, I want to try and keep the horns consistent with female Highlands. Which, for the record, their horns actually do grow in a way, or in a shape that's different from the bulls. I don't have a picture on hand, but it's like the female horns grow more like facing forward and are a bit more like fine tipped. Whereas I think the bulls actually kind of curve backwards a little bit, and they kind of grow outward. Like they kind of grow to the side and then back, I think. Here's one of the Monster Hunter songs. The one that you fight in an open flower field. I pulled these songs from Monster Hunter Frontier, so I know they're not really seeing much use today, since the game is The game was online multiplayer, and it had been shut down as of 2019. Still, I know Capcom can be a bit touchy when it comes to music. I might move them a bit more out at the base. The Vaporeon one we definitely know. In Gen 1, it was an endangered species mentioned in the Pokedex, and it made one kid super sad. So he caught a Ditto and Lapras and just spent, I think, like weeks to months breeding and then releasing his Lapras into the wild, and joy. If you check, Lapras are no longer considered endangered species, and they reference this and thanks to the one kid. And that one kid, Albert Einstein. Okay. That'll do, I think. I know kind of in place of, like, the wrapping, like, head marking thing, I kind of wanted to replace, like, with a little bit of, like, neck fluff, but I don't know. I just know there's at least one other Pokemon I have an idea for that involves neck fluff. It's like, I don't wanna overdo it. Gravity Rush. And that is how genetic bottleneck happens. I'd say no, because Ditto has infinite genetic code. I'm almost impressed at some of the ways that, like, some of the Pokemon games over time, like whenever certain new mechanics are introduced in remakes of their past games, they kind of had to go out of their way to be like, well, they couldn't, like, these Pokemon couldn't evolve in those previous games because explanation, like, in the universe, like, you know, these Pokemon you have to trade while they hold a special item, or like for Leafeon and Glaceon, like, you can't evolve them with like regular evolution stones. They have to be around particular boulders in the wild, which, you know, they later retconned in other games. It's like the lengths they kind of go to avoid retconning is almost impressive. Hope everybody is enjoying the best song of Pokemon Coliseum. The real question is, how does some of these Pokemon evolve in the wild? That's a question that I think most people would probably think to ask. But then there's the simple fact, like, you don't encounter those Pokemon in the wild. think that might work. Just keep it like that. Eating like an animal does. Like Shedinja? That is a good question. But again, like, in respect to the games, like, these are Pokemon you don't encounter in the wild. Shedinja would be more coming in wild than Trainer, since its carapace would be all over the place. Surely there has to be some Pokemon doing cleanup duty. Did anybody hear a slam just now? Thing I'm wondering, there's the marking around the face and all. What about this, like, central, like, round diamond shape? Should there be something, like, in the forehead area kind of in place of that? Or should I leave it as is? I'm not sure. That's why Ralts is, like, in every game. It's because Ralts does clean up to keep evolution stones and dead Pokemon out of the way. They also shoot down any invading species from other regions. I don't know if that's actually canon, is it? I don't remember any Pokedex entries mentioning anything like that of the sort. And, like, I don't usually, well, I don't tend to go to the anime for like, determining what's canon or not, per se. Not to mention, like, I just don't have that much knowledge of each anime series, however many there are. Not canon. But canon or other way around. Okay, did you hear it that time? The anime had Pikachu beating a Cubone by fucking cheating. You did hear a thump. Well. the most I can say is, thank God I don't lose my temper when I'm gaming. That's the most I'll say on that. Okay, I think we're ready for the appendages, the limbs. Let me see here. Let's skip to a new song. Yeah, I'll take it. Now that I'm looking at it, I wonder if it's better if I keep the mouth closed. I think it looks a bit better, yeah. Okay. Arms. I was thinking just, like, have the arms, like, just kind of resting on the chest. You know, given how Diantha kind of has a reputation for being the easiest champion in the series, I have to wonder how they're gonna handle like her character analog in the upcoming Legends Kalos game. I'm really curious. I hope it's not like a complete repeat or an exact repeat of like what happened in Legends Arceus. I don't know if everybody's aware, so I'm not. For the sake of spoilers, I'm gonna keep hush. It has rollout, it doesn't need limbs. She'll be the first gym leader. Well, X and Y's backstory is that massive war. Oh, yeah. I mean, I could still see something. I could still see, like, similar tropes being played, just under a different context. That's mainly what my mind was thinking of. As opposed to, I don't know, my dog's mind. Okay, so... kind of like that. Hashtag you play as Card Immortal Man. Or Hiker Immortal Man. Well, cows have udders, so... That's another thing I'm wondering about. Like, yeah, Highland cows have udders like any other cow breed, but it's like, first and foremost, fur, fuzz, fluff. So I'm just kind of wondering what I'm gonna do about that. They're that small. No. So maybe it's more like back here. Oaktank's udders are prominent, so maybe this one has just a Jesus Christ! So you would say its milkshake is for all the cows to the yard. Y'all. Please. Actually, I got an idea. I think I got it. it's not an idea that Pokemon hasn't done before, but like I think this might solve the conundrum. Just a bit. I just want this arm to be rounder. Do we need bail money for this idea? Hopefully not. Maybe start from up here. Just a starting point. Could do it kind of like hoodie pockets. Just stuff their hands into little pockets of floof. All chill like. Okay. There's that. And then splay of fluff to kind of compose the mass. And this is where the drug traffickers are stashing the contrabands. You know, I failed to mention one key detail about about this variant. So, as far as the typing goes, it's gonna be flying type, as well as grass type. I hope this kind of illustrates that, illustrates, nyuk, nyuk, nyuk. But like, poofy cloud fluff, and you want to make it look good, it's not as easy as you think. Okay. I suppose next should be the legs. Wait, you're saying that the normal type Pokemon variant will not be normal typing? Wow. In hindsight, a good idea is to have the Pokemon kind of look like that dandelion when it floofs is ready to spread and it's all floofy. Ooh. I might put that on the tail. Because, like, it already lends itself pretty well. Grass and flying. Tail is stem, body's floof. Yeah. Not canon for the Phantomon. Phantomon, that's a new one. Bark, bark. Okay. That should do for that one. Speaking of, what is it called? FAKEMON and Phantomon. Phantomon sounds nicer. I don't know. I didn't make up the word. It's probably because, you know, fake, fake has 4 letters and ends in KE, which also, Pokey also has 4 letters and ends in KE, so FAKEMON. except nobody pronounces it like FAKEMON. I don't know. English is weird. Okay, I'm wanting a new song. Let's have some Toho for a change. Proportions still don't look quite right. Thank you for the trifecta, Zala. It's because you're asking too many questions and needs to be taken to the church's basement. Oh no. Sitting good-ish. Good stretch. With only one of my ears having a bud in it. I actually have the capacity to get startled by my alarm again. I'm just gonna... Okay. Medicine. Hormones voiced. Okay. Okay, so it's basically just like... Just like so. I think. Is that right? I'm gonna make this one a little bit longer and the crevice a little bit wider. Like that. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that quite looks right. I don't know if... I don't think mill tanks have thigh gaps. That. Yeah. Cow, yes. Oh, what you doing? I'm drawing a cow. I'm drawing a Pokemon. I'm trying to figure out how to draw its legs. And hello to you, Solaris. With a stylus, indeed. imagine the kind of hassle I'd have to go through if I was drawing traditionally. I know there's a lot of streamers that do, like, hand cam stuff with arts and crafts and stuff. I can't do that. One, because I'm out of practice, and two, I don't have the equipment. Maybe if I add little tufts here, it'll make me feel better. Feel better about the proportions. Oh. This is another Monster Hunter Frontier theme, and it's fucking awesome. This one's a medley, because this is a monster that has 4 phases, and the music changes. Time to start a Kickstarter to produce a film, but use that money to buy a camera instead. Look at that floof, that's some good floof. Cute and floofable. Mission accomplished. I have blessed the moo with floof. Maybe if I change up this single puff right in the middle here. Phase 2. I love this song so much. Or these songs, technically. That's a very precise attack at a certain video essayist. What? Which thing did I say is topically relevant? I'm gonna add little tufts like off the shoulders here. Using Kickstarter money to make a film and buying a oh, yeah. Why the snow globe is Issy in the Yakuza now? Well, thankfully it wasn't something I said. We're on to phase 3 now. It'll do. What in the world am I gonna do with these legs? I know they're very round, but believe it or not, there's a difference between round and floofy. Funny, so is James Somerton. What are you gonna do with those legs? Put them on OnlyFans, making the money. There's certainly an audience somewhere. Also, phase 4, the last phase. I keep getting the feeling that these legs are not totally like planted on the same plane. That doesn't solve the lack of poofiness problem, though. Hashtag Pokemon feet pics. Hashtag Instagram model. maybe I could put some little poofs like down here. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is kind of a step in the right direction. Probably keep them like this. Maybe that. Just a single tuft. Okay. It's not perfect, but I'll have to be satisfied with it. Oh yeah, it's Mirror B, baby. I had a hard time figuring out which song this was, because, again, I'm only listening on one earbud. I joke about that, but I've heard how much money people like Jenna-Lyn, Meowry, and Amaranth make on OnlyFans. Oh, I know. It's a valid living. actually had kind of a thought about, like, I was thinking about, like, the Pokemon Coliseum and XD games. And it occurred to me, so, you know how in every mainline Pokemon game, usually at some point, there's at least one or like a few dedicated routes or areas that are specifically like the desert biome. You know, you find sandstorms, it's really hot and dry and whatnot. Well, I think about the region in Coliseum and XD, and you know, essentially, like the name of the region is Ore, and what's so peculiar about Ore as a region to me is just how desolate it is. And like, that's not to say like the entire region is just full of desert and, you know, it has nothing but desert Pokemon, but that's not true. Like, it is barren. It's wide open, it's just a wasteland, and there's not a single wild Pokemon in sight. Not until XD, and they literally have to be like... They have to be, like, lured in with food. Like, there's literally, like, social programs to reintroduce wild Pokemon back into Ore. Which only makes me think, okay, this isn't a true desert biome, because, contrary to popular belief, desert biomes are brimming with life, even if they are not hospitable towards human life. It's like there's plenty of critters and plants that get by just fine in the desert. But in some place like Ore, you know, and where, you know, essentially that same rule applies to Pokemon, it's like, what's the deal with Ore? You know, why is everything just so vast, so empty, and just there's hardly any wildlife? You literally have to try and coax it back into the habitat, which only makes me think something happened. Something really big and really bad happened to Ore, and the Pokemon just all decided collectively, nope, don't want any part of that, and just left. And so I'm like, what happened? What the fuck happened here? They're filling a service some people desire, as do Pokemon feed. It's the area where we have no idea how to fit in fire Pokemon. Just guess I can go here, tongue ticking out hitting head emoji. Pokemon Coliseum takes place in the countries between the mainline games, that's why there's nothing there. The main games steal all the resources. That's the Southwest, baby! Nuclear bomb testing. I mean, that's probably as likely an answer as any. Also India, also China, also Russia, also many others. Well, as Lieutenant Surge did mention, a war in X and Y had that massive devastation, so shit happens. That is true. That is true. There was the massive Pokemon war. In which case, like, my only other better explanation was, like, you know, since it's third generation, you know, you can't rely on any, like, future, generation Pokemon to be responsible, and so the most likely candidate would probably be Groudon. You know, just kind of laid waste to the entire region. And then just pieced out one day. Otherwise, yeah, it's probably war related. And they say Coliseum and XD aren't canon. Okay, now how am I gonna put in the little tuft? Like right here. There's also the fact that, like, as far as the human population in Ore goes, it's more true in Coliseum than it is in XD, but, like, literally everyone in, in Ore is basically a criminal of some kind. Which, my immediate thought is Ore just the Pokemon equivalent of Australia? Just without all the wacky wildlife, literally the opposite. I mean, there's wacky wildlife in Australia, it's just the desolation. And the giant cannon nuked place. Somewhere that Pokemon and Human War, and since Spatial Rend is a Pokemon move, totally could happen on a battlefield. Gardevoir can create black holes, that's true. I imagine kids using Blizzard and Rain Dance all the time fudges massively with the rainfall. Only criminals left over. Or maybe the region is just what it's just what it's like 20 years after the Elite Four are made. Criminals left over. Maybe they used to be mercenaries, and after the war ended, they had nowhere to go or work, so they settled in the desolate battleground. Shadow Pokemon are the grudges of the dead. That would be incredible if it weren't for the fact that Shadow Pokemon are actually a man-made product. You know, they are a result of the Cypher Syndicate. Someone read the word Badlands and decided to run with it. What's more a man-made product than grudges of the dead killed in war? Touché. Okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna settle. I'm gonna settle with these legs. I'm not totally content with them, but eh. You gotta get to the tail at some point. Okay. So... When in doubt, thick 'em out. Incredible. Could be a little thicker. Thick 'em out. Honestly, the comparison to, I guess like a seeding dandelion? I'm gonna say seeding for lack of a better term. A seeding dandelion, actually kind of genius. The question is, how do I make it look like a floofy dandelion instead of like a tuft of cotton? Well, dandelions are more circular, more ball-shaped. Sorry, I spaced out what was said about a genius. That's the only word I heard. I mentioned that comparing it to a floofy dandelion, a floofy dandelion was kind of genius. I don't know if the world is ready for a coffee-fueled frog. Well, too late. Far too late. dots to represent the seeds, like with Eldegoss? Hmm. That may be the key. In which case... I'm gonna do this on its own layer. It's kind of more like this. I might need to pull up a reference of Eldegoss. Sure I have it right. Frog with a coffee IV becomes Bane. Floofaline, let's go. Ah yes, you merely adopted the coffee. I was born with it, molded by it. You merely... I am Bean. Look, I admit, I'm more picturing the Bane from like animated Batman with Luchador and massive roid funnels. Yeah, let me start over. Keep a circle like that, and then like that. seeds. I think that'll work. With respect to live action, remember that Bane ain't just strength, he do be a genius. Okay. I do think... I think we'll probably size it up just a little bit. Just for a little stretch. And better resolution. But so far it looks like this Moo is ready for some color. But I think I'm gonna do that off stream. I'll save. Yep, I know it already exists. And since there's still some time, how about I get started on another one? On another mine. So baby, I'm so happy. Okay, let me see here. I basically have the spreadsheet up constantly, just in its own tab. Let's see. I will admit, I think it was sometime yesterday, I did actually come up with kind of what I want to do for the regional Lopunny. I think I have an idea where I want to go there, but I don't know if I want to work on her right this minute. Let me see here. Working on it as we speak. Wives in tandem. Let's see. What about... Ooh. Tempted to do either one of these, so I will put it to a coin flip. Okay. No, wait, I didn't decide heads or tails yet. I'm jumping the coin. word choice is heads. Okay. That was terrible. Okay. I'm gonna do one of the brand new ones. Coin flip? Nah, just let me pick. It's the same in the end. Okay. So this next one is a water type. And I'm thinking it should also be kind of adequately baby as well. I was about to skip to the next song, but it's almost done. I don't immediately have a clear vision for this one, so I might be doing a bit of spitballing in this process, but maybe wide set eyes. We got some OJ. This is like a style of rock I only consider to be like mechanic garage rock. Whichever way this Pokemon goes, I think I think these eyes are here to stay. OJ, is this new one a Mandarin? I also want to see a Jiangxi orange or maybe some other more prominent Chinese myth, plus an orange because Mandarin orange. Oh my god. So I may have zoned out and missed which one you're doing. I didn't mention it by name. I only mentioned it's one of the water types. But this one is called Mermote. And again, I don't have a clear vision just yet, so I'll be kind of experimenting until I get somewhere I'm content with. Yeah, everybody's zoning out. Every neuron is diverging in this stream. We have a head shape. Water type, it must be the mode of a sandcastle. It's the work in symbiosis with Sandygast, but it's actually a slime-like snake creature. People, please remember to wear your pants. I know its evolution is an icy mermaid, vaguely reminiscent of Meloetta, but baby form is up in the air. Happy to hear. It wraps around the Sandygast like a big huggy scarf and traps people in its gooey surface before sharing the victim 50-50 with Sandygast. The sand gets the soul and the moat gets the body. You kind of just... Do you really just... You pull up absolute gold and just... out of your brain on a whim. It won't be the concept we will be using here, but like, that needs to be a thing somewhere. Some I start at the fully evolved forms and work backwards. This is one of them. Ah. make this mouth. I'll keep the mouth. Oop. No smooth transition here. But now we're on to some Toho again. My brain do love firing neurons at random ideas and stories from nothing. They go pew pew! And then people can latch onto those ideas and make their own creations and ideas swell from it. And that makes me happy. Aww. If Icy Mermaid is evolution, it's first from a Silky then. And depending on how you raise it, either become a full water creature or a humanoid. It starts as a water normal type, but depending on the ratio of water to normal type moves you teach it, it will evolve differently into either an ice water type or normal ice type. That's so good! Ultimately it's Stellar's call, but also, like, we have virtually an entirely full roster at this point. So, additions are kind of coming a bit scarce at this point. But I absolutely adore that concept. God! As drawn, it's going good. We already got one Mon done, and now I'm starting on another with an unclear direction of where to go, or what I want to do with it. I don't want to make it too humanoid. Steal our Pokemon Region 2. I think 2 is the only thing spelled correctly. Its evolution, Melandine, is an ice water type, correct. That said, I desperately don't want to have to rework all the formulas to make the Pokedex work, so no more new ones for the time being. Yeah. Pokemon does have a lot of math involved to make the region fair and balanced. But even if I don't use them, you wicked should, they're great. Well, I can say I touched grass today. Excellent. Let me see. Ooh. I have an idea that might play into its Pokedex entry a little bit. It's a purely aesthetic idea, don't worry. You know, it won't affect anything, it's just flavor. But I think I have a little idea. I went out, grabbed some maple from the maple pile of wood, and started working on creating my own wood mallet while installing a vise for woodworking. Hashtag nerds under the sun. Cool. Just as well I have such a playful tune while I work on such a baby. Woodworking is a lot like an RPG video game because everything I want to make requires me making like 20 different things first, which allows me to make the first thing easier. For example, I'm carving a flower, but to chisel it, I need to make a brace. To make a brace, I need to set up a vise. To hammer the chisel, I need a mallet, etc., etc. You really are on a quest. Also, hell yeah, we got Ho-Oh's theme. Okay. Whoop. So I know for this idea I have this little idea I might need to do some copy and paste in. Potentially. Or if nothing else, just draw the other heads. Because it's going to be a head feature involved. It's time to hoe in, chat. Let's go. Insert redacted or Minecraft diamond hoe. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to draw multiple, which isn't so bad since we start off with pretty basic shapes all around. Not a whole lot of detail. Too big. Is it gonna be a chirp like a baby cracked egg with a little duckling mermaid just hatching out of its eggs? Or maybe a puffin? Oh, puffins live in cold weather. No, not quite. have like little tadpole tails for arms and hands. Or at least analogs of them. Okay, I think I'll do at least the first iteration of my idea. My idea was that, you know, according to Mermote's Pokedex entry, they tend to sing individual notes. And so, when they're part of a pod, they make actual melodies together, one at a time. And I thought it would be neat if there was kind of like a naturalistic kind of indication of like a certain particular Mermote's role in a pod, in the choir. So like, there's essentially this little orb, probably like a little orb of water, and there's either like one or two that are placed either higher up or lower down. And so my idea was like a single water bubble thing at the top means that it's a soprano. Two orbs higher up make it an alto. Two lower down would make it a tenor, and then a single down below would make it baritone. And that's my idea. Again, it's purely just flavor. But I think it's a neat idea. All that's left is just trying to make it look properly like a Pokemon. It's brilliant, it's canon now. Yay! I'm gonna put like little paw lines at the end of these like tadpole tails, indicating like they're actually hands. Actually, no. I'm not gonna do that. What should I do for the tail? Actually, what if... What if instead of a single tail, it's two other like tadpole tail limbs? And it can kind of be like my idea is like it's almost like a very, very subtle kind of reference to well, essentially kind of make it like a sea monkey. Or like, if anybody has ever heard of like is it just a sea monkey theory? Or like aquatic ape or something? You know, that would supposedly explain the actual existence of mermaids in the ocean. So I'm thinking maybe just include these little spindly legs, kind of diminutive legs that also form out into fins, like a tadpole's tail. And so, like, as actual legs, they're like they're vestigial legs, kinda. They're vestigial as far as legs go, but they're perfectly functional as swimming fins. So like, let's go up here. Kind of like that. I kind of like that. Maybe add like a little Daffy Duck stripe at the neck, and then little stripe right here could almost look like a little belt. Maybe. Well, actually, maybe like the actual membranes will be connected, but the roots are still separate. So this way... it almost looks like a little skirt. An elegant skirt denotes kind of a hint of its future appearance, its evolution into something more outwardly feminine. I do too. I'd maybe extend the body a little to make it longer. I can do that. Let's see. Need to zoom out. I suppose I should include the belt area. I should raise this up a bit. Maybe just a second stripe for decorative purposes. Let's see. New song. Hey! It's the Guild Hall. Good old Guild Hall. Maybe just like a stomach pattern. Like that. In some ways, it's annoying to have to listen to songs with only one ear. But in another respect, it's actually kind of interesting to listen to these songs you're familiar with and see just kind of what differences you can make out. Because sometimes they don't actually sound half bad. It's almost like these tunes were made by professionals. Okay. I think the gist of it is basically all set. But hey, I have another hour. It's probably not going to take that long, but why don't I do a smidgen of color? Wait. Well, actually, here's what I'm going to do. Maybe it might be easier after I color it. Ah, indecision. Either way, I'm gonna make a layer of black. that. Too big. I like that. That's cute. Okay. I feel like there should be some color somewhere. Maybe like a little bit of sea green. Maybe like in the center there. Oh, and now they actually look like little vinyl records. Oh, I love that. Actually. Oh my god. I love that so much. Excellent. Okay. What do I want to do with the mouth? I think that's what I'm going to do with the mouth. I was struggling to figure out if I wanted to include like the tongue or not, or just make it like a solid color inside. Actually, let's make it a bit magenta to help complement the blue that I'll be putting in. Oops. Suddenly I gotta pee. I don't know. Maybe solid color is better. Well, the eye color's already on the same layer as the lines, so I guess they're not going to change between shinies. pond gets a little warmer. No! No! Okay. So now onto the blues. I kind of want the head to be a lighter blue. Yeah. And then a darker and kind of different tone of blue for a little hair here. If that indeed is what it is. That. And then I gotta do something about the little dots, little spots on the face. It's tempting to go with cyan just because, you know, water and eventually ice type, but I don't know. Maybe I'll just have them like a little bit violet, just to shake it up a little bit. And it goes well with the maroon in the mouth. Yeah. And then I wanted it like the body and the limbs to kind of be Kind of like an off green. Maybe the reason I suddenly have to pee is because I know I'm working on a water Pokemon. But if there's one thing I learned in my youth, it's playing Pokemon at the same time. With a handheld. Cyan for the hair or fins? Or for the hair or fins? Well, I've already done the hair. It's probably gonna be cyan for the fins in that case. Maybe I could do this sea green for the little stripes. It hardly looks green when put up against it. The true cyan, like so. Actually, I think I might change this to a little lighter tint. Create some better contrast. There we go. any indication of color spillage. Okay. Yeah, like that. And then... I'm starting to have second thoughts about the hair. Maybe I'll swap the hair and the body. So, nope, that's the face. So, that. Body will be a deep blue. Yeah, I kind of like that a little better. I hope you watched the handheld. I mean, this was years ago. And back when I still only had a Game Boy Advance SP. Right, and then back to regular blue. Although I might make this just a wee bit darker. Yeah, that'll do. Yeah, and then the actual body, or the little water, the orb, that'll be differentiating individuals. Just right here. And outlined with white. Just like Dewtrot. Okay. Redo the top wave here. That's better. There we go. That'll do her. Yeah. So then it's all of this plus like 3 other variants that are only different in orb placement. I'll probably get to the shiny later, but the least I can do is trim, save as, and put it in my whips. Remote. And then here we can just use the soprano for the Pokédex image. I'll save that as its own file. Let's see. Remote is number 54. Bam. Remote is complete. Aside from its little like sub-variants. I am so satisfied with the fact that its eyes, the eyes just look like little, they look like little vinyl records. I love it. Okay. So that done. I mean, I suppose. Nah, I'll do the shiny colors off stream. But hey, we got 2 Babbies done. Well, one of them's technically half done, but we got their designs down. And at least this one is like, I mean, I guess technically it's 25% complete, but I would judge it more as like 80%. The basic design is finished. It's just this little water orb that shakes things up a bit. Honestly, I'm kind of tempted to even just do like a whole piece featuring like the 4 different Mermotes in like a little quartet, and like all the little notes. Each of the 4 like vocal ranges just doing their own things, swimming about, maybe close to a glacier or some kind of like ice flow. I don't know. These are thoughts I have. Otherwise, I'm pretty happy with how this little Babby turned out. This one feels like, oh no, you caught me before I evolved. I'm so embarrassed. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Isn't that 8? That's like the scale progression, but like the 4 default ranges is, as I said, like soprano, alto, tenor, baritone. So like right here we're looking at the soprano And then I already explained what the differences are going to look like. And ideally, you know, remote pods would be more than 4 members. Do Re Mi Fa is first form evolution, so La Ti Do for second form. That's funny. Okay. I think the Guildhall music is like just on the precipice of wrapping up. I'm gonna let it play itself out. Okay. Bring back the Froggy tunes. I don't know much music theory. Music is language. Language hurt my brain. That's valid. I mean, I took 2 years of high school choir, and I still don't know shit about reading sheet music. I am what they refer to as pitch perfect, rather than perfect pitch, because apparently there's a difference. Pitch perfect is when you can replicate any note that you hear, and then perfect pitch is when you can listen to a note and be like, oh, that's an A flat. I took 2 weeks of high school band totally the same. I'm glad we found solidarity. Okay. I am happy to have made progress, especially with the mill tank. Mill tank has haunted me for, I mean, literally since I started drawing mons for this project. Well, I'm anticipating to stream again tomorrow night. Not sure what I want to do. Same as always. Okay, I really need to pee, and also there's half of a frozen pizza waiting for me. I actually thought to make the pizza ahead of time this time around. All the streams, more streams! Tomorrow you'll be playing Frogger. That's actually not a bad idea. I do have other frog-related games up my sleeve. Or I should say up my steam. We'll see. We'll see about that. At the same time, I'm still trying to think of what I would feel good, like, getting immediately started on, like a new playthrough or something. Well, my ideas are free, feel free to take them. Though I do remember a Frogger GBA game that says an RPG adventure. Ooh. You can't see it, but I'm stroking my froggy chin in intrigue. Anywho, I'll figure something out tomorrow for Froggy Friday. The Fridays that belong to the Froggies. I guess I will plug my socials, since I can't think of much else to say. And then I should probably hurry along and find someone to raid, so I can actually properly go to the bathroom. Let's go raid messages, and I shall finish these FAKEMON in due time. Probably like immediately after I'm done with the bathroom and eating the rest of the pizza. Because like, you look at Mermote, and like, the design is not that, it's not that complex. I could easily see it being feasible. Frog Nation Friday night facilitating 50s. Okay. I'm gonna make sure I copy my own raid message. Who is live right now? It is a Thursday, so we'll probably see some Lily Pals that I don't usually. Okay. How about we raid? Oh my. Let's go and raid a Blanc, who is playing some Fire Red and Leaf Green, but apparently they're playing a Kaizo Ironmon playthrough, so it's ultra hardcore difficult. I feel it's an appropriate theme for tonight. Live Friends command, is that a thing? Is that a thing people do? We shall raid Blanc, playing the Pokemans. Well, I will see you all tomorrow, Lily Pals. Thank you all for coming and watching me go through my brain worms in assortment. I don't know, I type in commands for everything. These are the new hashtags. Nighty-night command. Night-night. Happy time zone. Make sure to take care of yourselves too, Lily Pals. I redeem the trifecta of health for all of you. Get some water, sit up straight, do some stretching. Yes, it is in my power. Anywho, I shall see you all tomorrow. Thank you for indulging me in my neurodivergent neuron divergence. I will see you all. Happy time zone. Goodbye, Lily Pals. I love you. Oh, Yasumi!